evening, everyone, and welcome to the Candidates Forum presented by the League of Women Voters of Northwest Wayne County. My name is Paula Bowman. I'm a League board member and the producer of the forum tonight. Tonight, we welcome the candidates running in the primary election for the 3 seats on the Wayne City Council. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan political organization. We do not support or oppose any candidates running for any office. The League does take positions on issues after careful study, so sometimes you may see our name attached to an issue that we are advocating or opposing. Membership in the League is open to anyone 16 years of age or older, so if you're interested in joining this public service organization, please see one of the League members tonight. The League's main mission is to promote political responsibility through informed and active participation in government. One of the ways we do that is by having forums like this one tonight. But the League has also prepared a nonpartisan voter guide, which can be found online at vote411.org. And you simply plug in your street address, your voting address, and you can pull up your ballot and the candidates that will be on your ballot. You can find that link if you've got vote411.org at our website, which is lwvnorthwestwayne.org. If you would like to ask questions of the candidates, and we certainly encourage that, please write your question on an index card and hand it to one of the ushers in the aisle. Our moderator is going to ask as many questions as we can in the time allowed. Questions should be brief, to the point, and should not include any personal attacks on the candidates. We reserve the right to screen the questions for duplication and clarity, and that's what these 2 fine League members are doing in the back. We thank the Wayne Library for allowing us to use this facility tonight and arranging for the setup. Thank you, Jody. The candidates were given our forum rules well in advance of tonight and have agreed to abide by them. We ask the audience to silence your cell phones and to please refrain from commenting or applauding until the end of the forum. That just takes up time in the very short time that we have. And I think we are about ready now to introduce you to our forum moderator, Lisa Martin.
Good evening and welcome to the Wayne City Council Candidates Forum. My name is Lisa Martin and I am a member of the Northwest Wayne County League of Women Voters and also the moderator of today's event. Tonight we welcome 6 of the 7 candidates running for the 3 seats on the council. The 6 candidates who received the most votes at the August primary election will advance to the November election. All qualified candidates were invited to the forum, but Matthew Mulholland is currently out of the country so could not attend. He has submitted a 1-minute written statement that will be read by another League member shortly. We have received many questions from the audience, and some were received online in advance of the forum. Questions are screened for clarity, and those which included personal attacks on a candidate were eliminated. We will ask as many questions as time permits. All the candidates have agreed to the format for tonight's forum, which is as follows. Each candidate will have a 1-minute opening statement and a 1-minute response to all questions, ending with a 1-minute closing statement. Before the candidates were seated, they chose a random number to determine their order of seating. We will rotate the order of the candidates who responds to the question or statement first. League member Tony Jones is our timekeeper. She will be holding up cards so that the candidates know when their time is up. The candidate must stop when the stop sign appears. Before we begin with our opening statements, one of our League members will read a 1-minute statement from Matthew Mulholland, who is absent because he had a long planned trip out of the country. Sandy.
I am disappointed that I cannot attend tonight's meeting and appreciate the League for facilitating tonight's forum. As a lifelong resident of the city of Wayne, I have always enjoyed being involved in the local community. Whether it's volunteering at St. Mary Parish, working with Friends of the Rouge cleaning and clearing our river, or serving on city council, I have tried to make a positive difference through my actions. My family has called Wayne home since 1919. Wayne is where we chose to open Mulholland Dry Goods and where my parents raised all 10 of us kids. I graduated from Wayne Memorial, Michigan State University, and am a veteran of the United States Army. I am running for city council because I believe in Wayne, a city uniquely situated along the lower Rouge River with a walkable downtown and residents who care about their city and are ready to help make it better. Wayne has that small town charm, but is only a short drive to most anywhere in Metro Detroit. I am asking for your vote and for your confidence that I will always act in the best interests of and for the city of Wayne and its residents. Thank you, Matthew P. Mulholland.
Thank you, Sandy. We will start with opening statements. We will start in seat number 1 and go accordingly. So if you would, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I want to thank the League of Women Voters for holding this forum. I was looking forward to having a discussion with the community. I've been making my rounds to different residents, but to have a forum and for you guys to be able to show up and to come, take your afternoon, come. I appreciate you guys coming as well. Again, my name is Shannon Roshan, and I'm running for City Council in Wayne. I'm currently on a Wayne Westland School Board, where I serve as a trustee, board trustee, and I'm over the Student Achievement Committee. My passion really is serving. I've been serving our community for decades now. Right now, immediately in my immediate community, I've ran for the board and working with our young people within our district. My purpose and my goal for serving City of Wayne is I want to see us take Wayne to the next level. I think it is time for us to see new leadership, new experienced leadership. I appreciate the board, the city council that's currently here, but I believe I can bring an extra different approach of leadership and a different approach to represent our community as a whole. As we look at Wayne, Wayne is forever changing, it's constantly diversifying, different people, different businesses, and I'm here to represent that and to ask for your support on this evening. Thank you.
I would also like to thank the League of Women Voters. I encourage everyone to take a look at the things that they have online, their written materials. It's very important for anyone that's interested in their government, and I hope that is everybody. My name is Alfred Brock. I'm currently on the City Council, and I'm asking your vote to be put back on the City Council again. The 3 main things that concern me in my office, besides any contact I get from a citizen or a business that I can follow up with. The 3 main items that I am concerned with are, number 1, the health and well-being of all of the citizens in the city of Wayne. And you might ask, well, how can you affect that? You're in the government. Well, maybe someone has a difficulty with a local organization, and I may be able to talk through that. The second one is the health of our local environment. And the third one is jobs and opportunities. And you may think that that doesn't have anything to do with the first 2, but that actually is tied to everything in the first 2. And thank you again for letting me speak to you, and I hope that you will vote for me.
Hi, welcome everybody. I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. I know there was a lot of things you guys could have been doing. I want to first thank the League of Women Voters and again, everyone that showed up and wants to make a difference in their government. A little bit about me, I'm DeVincent McFarland. I grew up in Montcalm County, Michigan. I served in the Army as a combat medic for a few years. I attended Georgia Military College, 142nd Corps of Cadets. My whole life's been about service. I moved to Wayne a couple short years ago, not really knowing much about Wayne, but I kind of happened to buy one of the best properties in the city, and a lot of things happened in that short period of time, and had to do some soul searching, and ultimately I decided while I was sitting in the Wayne County Jail without bond due to we'll say a property rights matter, I decided, you know what, I found my calling in life, and that's to represent you guys, hopefully. I'm new to this and a little bit inexperienced, as you can tell, but I see promise in Wayne, the city of Wayne especially, but it starts with leadership at the top, and unfortunately from my experiences, they haven't been very good in Wayne, but I'm looking to put my best foot forward and change that, so thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Don Quarles. I'm nervous as heck. I've never done anything like this before. So just a few things about me. I moved into the city 30 plus years ago with 5 kids a tow. And we got a duplex over on Clark, and then we bought a house on Howe Road. And not long after that, Al Haddis got elected as mayor, and he put me on the board, the zoning board. I served on the zoning board for 17 years. And then I became the liaison between the zoning board and the planning commission. There are some things that I have been working on since I am on city council. And one of them that I'm really passionate about is our charter. It needs to change. It was written in 1958 and it needs to change. And that's what I'm all about, is getting that charter changed. I want to say thank you all for coming out, and the League of Women's Voters. We appreciate you putting this form on. And just vote for me. I'm not done. I've got a lot more to do in the city of Wayne.
Okay. Sorry.
You're all right.
Hi everyone, my name is Brett Masick. Thanks everyone for coming out. Thanks to the library for hosting, and of course thanks to the League for putting on this event. So I've lived in Wayne for most of my life, and I have always liked to get involved with things. Back when I was, I think, going into 6th grade, I was here in this library volunteering in the children's section. And as an adult, I currently serve on the Housing Commission. I serve on the board of directors for the Friends of the Library. I have organized block parties in my neighborhood. I love the city. I love doing things in the city, and I just want to keep doing that. I think I bring some unique experience to city council if I was to be elected. Ever since graduating college from the University of Michigan Dearborn in accounting, I have worked in governmental finance, starting with the city of Ypsilanti, and now I work as the business office manager for Garden City Public Schools, and I just hope to bring that perspective to council. Thank you.
I am also very nervous. Thank you everybody for coming out. My name is Kathy Lawrence. I am seeking re-election for City Council. I previously worked for the City of Wayne for about 15 years. I worked in various departments, which include finance, payroll, police department, Parks and Rec. I currently work for a different municipality. I've been there for over 15 years. I work in the finance department there. I also worked in the utilities department there. The reason that I'm running for office is because I want to make a change for the better. There were more activities that went on throughout the city that we had to cut due to budget cuts. And I just want to see those flourish and come back. And I feel like with my past experience in the municipal government, I can make that change. I know what to look for.
Thank you. So we will have the first question from the public to be answered by Mr. McFarland. The question is, do you think it's time to have an elected city clerk and a full-time mayor instead of a city manager?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for that question. I think one of the biggest problems in the city of Wayne is the current structure that we have in the government. Right now we have a council manager set up, and I think we need to go more towards well, not saying get rid of the city council, but to have a full-time city manager in a town this small with seemingly less and less going on, right? I mean, we've seen everything basically get cut. I just can't justify $197,000 in compensation, whatever the city manager currently makes. So I'd prefer to spread that wealth around to the council, to the mayor's office, so we can have direct representation. Of course, my aspirations ultimately are to run for the mayor position in Wayne, and I, again, just want to make this known, I'm not taking a salary to do this because, this is my zip code, this is my home, and this is, something that we're going to have to share for the next at least 30 years. So I think that is a very good place to start. I certainly would probably expand on what Don's doing with the charter, looking at some of those outdated ordinances. But yeah, the structure's got to change for sure.
Same question to Mr. Masick.
So I can't say this is something I have an overly developed opinion on. I think there are merits both to a strong mayor form of government and to a city manager style. I think if it was the interest of council of exploring that option, I would absolutely be in favor of looking at the pros and cons of staying or changing the system.
Mr. Brock, same question. Do you think it's time to have an elected city clerk and full-time mayor instead of a city manager?
I think the idea of an elected city clerk is a good idea. I would personally elect the one we have right now, because I really like our city clerks. As for the mayor, I believe that the city council manager form of government is good to work with here in the city of Wayne. I do not feel that it has been properly applied for the past 25 years or more. And I feel that if that is explored and carried out the way it is intended, then I think it will be good for the city of Wayne. And then we can talk about having a paid mayor or a paid, like a supervisor or whatnot. Thank you. I have written a book about this. You can either find it online or just send me an email at abrock@cityofwayne.com or alfred.brock@gmail, and I will send you a free copy of it. Talking about how the city manager council form of government should operate, its history, and nothing about what's going on right now in the city of Wayne, but it'll explain to you what it should be, and you'll immediately recognize what we need to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Lawrence, same question.
I personally feel that we need to keep the city manager form of government that we have right now. There are checks and balances in place with council and the mayor to oversee that city manager, and I feel like if we have an elected city manager, that would not be in place. They would be able to do a lot. They would be able to do a lot more without oversight, and I feel like oversight in this community is what we need. I feel like in the past, maybe not having that oversight as much as should have been has caused a lot of problems. I want to move forward, not backward. So I feel like we should keep it the way that it is at this point in time.
Mr. Quarles?
Thank you. This is part of the charter. It's one of the things that I want to change. I think that our mayor should be the head of the city, and the city manager is part of that team, but we need to change it. I'm harping on the city charter because we haven't rewrote that city charter. Al Gaddis got elected, and we're still going by how the government is run in the city of Wayne since 1958. That is a shame. I just don't understand why we have not changed that. But to answer that question and to elaborate on that, I definitely think we need to change our structure and our team that we have in the city of Wayne. And it's not the way that it's set up right now. It needs to change. Thank you.
Mr. Roshan?
Yes, I think that first of all, I'm open for change, but I think it all relies on the voters, and I would want to know what the community would like to see. And even having that change, I would like to see the pros and cons before the voters, before the council. I do believe that if we do change it to more of a mayor and city council, and I think that the city council can hold the mayor responsible for checks and balances. But I am for that change, but I'm more so concerned and want to know what the voters have to say about it. And whatever the voters say and the community say, I'm for it.
Thank you. This is the second question from the audience, and we'll start with Mr. Brock. What are your thoughts about the levels of emergency services in Wayne regarding police, fire, and DPW?
I'm extremely concerned about the future levels of service for fire emergency police in the city of Wayne because they are under a great deal of stress and strain right now. And we can continue to reach out to the federal government for monies that they should have funneled back to us already, or to the state for monies that should have been funneled back already from the county, and which we're all working on as hard as possible. But the fire department, the emergency folks, the police department are working to the limit of what I think is a reasonable level of activity to ask them to do. They are being heroic in their activity. And I think that we need to take steps to address that by encouraging more people to join the police department, and we definitely have to take a look at budgeting, etc. Thank you.
Mr. McFarland?
Well, I'll give you 2 years of experience. I've had nothing but great interactions with DPW. I say keep them around, increase their funding, if anything. As far as the police and the fire department, I think the fire department is a huge budget strain on our city. I would move towards a volunteer model. I don't think with the current way, I mean, we get one fire every couple of years. I understand the paramedic services and whatnot, but that could be contracted out to neighboring Westland at a fraction of the cost. As far as the police department goes, I like the idea of us continuing to have a local police department, although I've experienced a lot of problems with their FOIA process. I've experienced quite a lot of problems with their due process, if you want to call it that. And so I think we need new leadership. Definitely in the police department and the fire department, but I'd say leave DPW alone.
Mr. Quarles?
Well, in case anybody doesn't know, retention is a problem. Fire department, police department, retention is a problem. We have to offer our officers and our fire department money to keep them here because other agencies are stealing good firemen and good policemen from our city. And the reason they're doing that is money. We're getting ready to go into a budget deficit, and it's not good. And we have to figure out a way to retain the officers and the police department. DPW, there's nothing wrong with them. We've got a good staff there. I would like to see us be able to give them a little bit more money. Some of the workers that are working there, because they do a lot for us. But retention is the problem, everybody. It's no secret. If you read the news, everywhere across America, retention is the problem.
Mr. Mason?
So yeah, I think I have always had good experiences when dealing with the various city departments, organizing block parties. You have to coordinate with DPW and the police, and they've always been very accommodating with that process. And so I think we have a lot of great people working there. But yeah, like Mr. Coral said, that's the biggest challenge in municipal and schools is dealing with limited budgets and trying to pay people and provide resources and training at a level, and I think that's the biggest priority of the city government is to try and find that balance where we can make sure we are properly allocating money and resources so we can keep these departments staffed and keep people in place once they are trained. Thank you.
Ms. Lawrence?
DPW, fire, and police department are considered essential services for a reason. We need to maintain our staff in the police department, I agree with that, but we need to get our staff at full throttle. Right now, we're down a couple officers, and it just needs to be fully staffed to serve the community in its best interest. The fire department, also an essential service. DPW, those who know me know I have personal experience with DPW. They are an essential service. People don't see that though until your water's shut off, or there's a water main break, or a tree falls on the property or the city property and needs to be removed. But essential services need to stay. We need to maintain that in our budget, and it needs to be one of our priorities.
Mr. Rochon?
I believe we definitely have to keep our services locally. I think the ways that we do it is there are federal grants and statewide grants that can support our police department, our fire department, that we could apply for. A lot of times we don't know that there's monies out there to support our services. We need to be able to support our services financially so we can retain our police officers and fire department and our water department. Another thing I would say, there are a lot of residents that want to volunteer for the police department and the fire department. We need to ramp up those opportunities, allowing residents to know, hey, you can come volunteer. I personally wanted to volunteer with the police department. I was a police chaplain for the Wayne County Sheriff's Department, and I wanted to volunteer as a police chaplain here and see wherever I can help with the police department, whether it's just neighborhood watch or whatever. So I think encouraging our community to be involved. I'm sorry.
We are very short on time, so let's be mindful. This next question is going to start with Mr. McFarland. The question was submitted to the league before tonight. What kinds of policies, if any, will you pursue to promote social and racial justice in our community?
Well, I like the idea of passing a local Bill of Rights for our citizens of Wayne. It's been my experience that, again, there's been a lot of due process errors that I've seen in the city of Wayne in regards to the police department and just the court in general. And, I think it's just, again, training, right? But beyond just training, we need ordinances in place, unfortunately, to protect our local residents from the government. That's why the Bill of Rights, of course, was created. And I've seen too many abuses. I mean, it's flat out, through racial lines, through ethnic lines, gender, sexual orientation. Police brutality knows no bounds, right? It doesn't have any barriers. And so, yeah, that's definitely a big concern in the city of Wayne. And again, like a local Bill of Rights would be a good place to start. But it's just holding, people accountable at the end of the day. Thank you.
Mr. Quarles?
Thank you. Great question. There are policies that need to be written. There's a lot of misjustice going on in the country, and you all see it. It's nothing new. But I think we need to look as a local government, we do need to dive into that more. And we need to look at, as Ms. McFarland said, we need to look at maybe some ordinances that need to be changed. It's definitely something that is weighing heavy on a lot of our minds. I know myself personally that getting called names as you're walking down the road is not fun. And we have to hold the people accountable. So yes, policies need to be written, and maybe that's something we need to look into moving forward.
Mr. Masick?
So yeah, I think this is a very important issue. My wife is Lebanese and my son is by extension half Lebanese, and I think we have a lot of changing demographics in the city. I think the city now is different than when I was a kid, and I think when my son's an adult it'll be different again. So I think we need to be making sure that the city works for people of all communities and no one is feeling unsafe anywhere in the city, no matter their origin. Thank you.
Ms. Lawrence?
I think that there needs to be more education on diversity, more celebrations for diversity that bring people together, teach people about what it is to be human and kind to each other. Policies may help, but I really feel like bringing everybody together as a community would help a lot more.
Mr. Rochon?
The beautiful thing about the city of Wayne is we're becoming such a melting pot. My neighbors, just in my immediate neighborhood, I have people from India, from Russia, from Lebanese, and I'm black. I'm a black man. With that being said, I think we have to have policy. We have to have education. We also have to have programming. We have different holidays, national holidays, that I think as a city, we can be in the forefront of celebrating those holidays of different cultures, different races, different religions, things of that nature. So with that being said, definitely policy should be in the forefront, but I think it starts with our city council, our leadership, and I think I would be a great person to lead that.
Mr. Brock.
Would you mind repeating the question? It's so wonderful. I just want to make sure I get this right.
What kinds of policies, if any, will you pursue to promote social and racial justice in our community?
Well, the policies I would pursue as an elected official would be to ensure that everyone is invited to our activities. And that goes into my personal life as well. So if we're going to have something like an international musical festival, or an international food festival, or invite all the preachers and imams, everybody, to come on and do whatever that day, or choirs, right? And to have that as wound up in our policies for youth services and parks and recreation. Most importantly, it's that invitation, the invitation from people on the council, from the council itself, to make some sort of announcement and make it constant. I do that often when I talk to the kids, and I'm going to tell you a quick story of what happened because it's got 15 seconds. There I was, we were talking about, oh, there's too much salt in the river. And these children came to me from one of the high schools, and there they all were, a black one, a white one, a red one, a yellow one, a brown one, all together. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. This next question will start with Mr. Quarles. Please explain your professional experience. How will your life and work experience apply as a city council person?
Well, it already has actually. During the day, I am the logistics manager of a recycling company. So we got that recycling in the city of Wayne that we just passed, which is going to save us a ton of money by recycling if our neighbors can. I'm also Wayne County Sheriff Reserve Officer. Those kind of things that I do. I'm also a Mason at Wayne Lodge 112. Those kind of things that I do, I bring into my life into the city. It's about love. You know, Kathy mentioned we gotta love each other. We need more love in this world. And I spread love. I try to spread love. And doing everything that I do in my personal life is how I spread that love. And I'm a DJ too, so I try to make people smile.
Mr. Masick.
Thank you. So, like I said a little bit earlier, I have worked in local government finance professionally for my entire career. I started with the City of Ypsilanti. I'm now with Garden City Public Schools. I have worked in budgeting. I've worked in the competitive bid process, payroll, contract negotiations. I'm familiar with a lot of the things that come before City Council to review and approve. And I think that puts me at a pretty good footing for tackling the challenges that will come as a City Councilman. Thank you.
Ms. Lawrence.
So when I started with the City of Wayne, I worked in the Finance Department, which was attached to the Assessing Department and the Utilities Department. I moved over to Payroll, where you learn all the contracts and you have to abide by them. You have to pay them correctly. Then I moved over to the Police Department and I learned the ins and outs of what goes on the inside of the Police Department. Then I was moved over to Parks and Recreation, where I learned kind of like governmental budgeting was a little more on that plate. Working with the public was very important. When I went over to the community I work for now, I started in the Water and Utilities Department, which was water, sewer, rubbish. I now do payroll, which is the main part of my job in finance, which also I have to deal with collective bargaining agreements. I have to deal with everybody but work with everybody within the municipality.
Mr. Roshan, please explain your professional experience. How will your life and work experience apply as a city council person?
Yes, after attending Eastern Michigan University, I went into human resources. I was a human resource generalist, HR manager. I became an HR regional director. After being in HR has taught me people skills, policy, negotiations. With that, I leaned my career into being a community organizer. For the past decade, I've been a community organizer working for different organizations, nonprofit organizations, encouraging civic engagement. But currently, I'm Wayne Westland School Board member where I'm overseeing governance and budget and policy. And just being, all those experiences in my life has led me to this point to really serve my immediate community here in the city of Westland. Wayne Westland, I'm saying the school board, but Wayne.
Mr. Broad?
I am a systems optimization expert. What I do is I'll go into a company or a system and find out what is wrong and then work to correct it. Now what do I do first? I make the people a lot of money. I save them a lot of money and then I make them a lot of money. And not by firing people, not by cutting them out, but by changing the system that they're operating in so that they can get more work done. And this is not to get them worked to death or anything like that, to make the work more pleasant. And my experience there has already proven well here in the city of Wayne when we got the lead service lines replaced here in the city of Wayne. And I want to continue doing that sort of thing. We found the system, we worked as a team, and then we applied the things that needed to be done in the proper way so that we could get the money here that belonged here. And you know, we're the only community that did that in the whole state, and I wish the others would come and talk to us about it. So thank you.
Mr. McFarland?
While in my life I've worn many hats, I'm not going to lie and say I honestly, professional experience, I'm a blue collar guy, wildlife conservationalist. I would say the closest thing would probably be my military background. But again, I was enlisted. I was a combat medic. You know, I was a poorly trained infantryman, and you know, I was told to go into the fire and bring people out alive. So I am very pragmatic in my thinking and my approach to life. But you know, I would say I'm just somebody who, you know, I grew up in abstract poverty, and I'm someone who knows, you know, what struggle is, you know, and I'm a veteran, and as is Mr. Mulholland, and so I think that really needs to play into things, you know. I think we need more people in this country that lead by example, that are willing to actually put their boots on and actually get to work rather than to just talk about it. And so if that's what you're looking for, please vote for me. If you're looking for someone who really deeply cares about his community, you won't find anyone better. So thank you.
We'll start this next question with Mr. Mason. What should residents expect from your first year in office? Please describe positive initiatives you will pursue to improve the city of Wayne rather than focusing on disagreements or past conflicts.
So I think what people should expect is to see someone who is trying to be at the forefront of conversation. I think we have a lot of good community organization. I'm a member of the Friends of the Wayne Public Library. My wife's a member of the Historical Society. I think they do a lot of good work that doesn't always get as much spotlight as it could. So I would like to use being on city council as a way to kind of shine the light on what other people are doing good in the city and liaise where possible their efforts with city council to see what additional resources we could be providing to them. Thank you.
Ms. Lawrence?
I am going to ask you to repeat the question, please. It was a long one.
What should residents expect from you? What should residents expect from your first year in office? Please describe positive initiatives you will pursue to improve the city of Wayne rather than focusing on disagreements or past conflicts.
So I'm already in office, but I think I want to focus still on our budget and have discussions that we need to have on how to increase our or decrease our budget deficit. And I would also like to have input from the public. I would like to hear what they have to say so that we can work together for a solution. And I think that's about it. Thank you.
Mr. Roshan?
First thing I will look to do, something that I've done with Wayne Westland School Board, I want to emphasize on residential engagement. I would love to see our city council meetings packed to the brim. A lot of elected officials don't want to see that. They would rather just do things behind closed doors. But I want things to be transparent. I want to encourage every resident to come on out and be a part of the process. of improving the community. Next thing I want to focus on is public safety, making sure everyone understands and feels safe to be in their home. In my community right now, some of our residents, we talk how we forget to lock our doors at times because we feel really safe. But other communities in Wayne may not feel that way. So I want to make sure that the whole city of Wayne feels safe and make sure there's transparency within our community.
Mr. Brock, what should residents expect from you from your first year in office? Please describe positive initiatives you will pursue to improve the city of Wayne rather than focusing on disagreements or past conflicts.
I would like to present to the folks here and everybody that's going to vote that I would be involved more strongly than I am right now about getting and whether I get elected or not, that's going to happen, to get the charter rewritten and updated. And I also believe that inclusion is important. We're taking steps forward, right? We have multicultural people here. We got white people and black people here this evening. We've had, and this is, I want to see more inclusion. I don't want to be too blunt about it, but we had 3 black residents at the city council meeting the other day, and I was very happy. Now you could say that was sad, but no, I don't. I say that's good, and that's the start. And Miss Kathy, as you can see, she's the woman, right? Women are rising up in the city of Wayne, and that was not historically done here, so I'd like to see that happen. Thank you.
Mr. McFarland.
Well, I can promise you this, in the first year, you'll see a lot of fireworks. It'll be like the 4th of July. There'll be a lot of accountability, a lot of shocking things will be, I guess, exposed, right? I don't know how surprising they'll be to many of you, but I just want to bring back accountability and transparency to this wonderful city. For too long, there's been deals behind the seals. Thank you, Mark. And, I really just want to have a functional city. I want a city that I can be proud of. I want to be able to tell people, when I tell people I'm from Wayne, Michigan, and they assume, oh, Wayne County? No, city of Wayne. I want them to actually know what I'm talking about. And if they do know what I'm talking about, I don't want them to be just kind of disgusted, like, oh, why do you live there? So I have a lot of confidence in the people of Wayne. Unfortunately, it's funny, these guys talk about changing the city charter, but that was my idea. You guys can go look it up. I've been talking about that for a long time. So yeah, that's definitely where we need to start, for sure.
Mr. Quarles.
Well, everybody kept my ideas, so I'm just saying. But as I began, the city charter is the one thing that I'm worried about. I started working on the city charter 3.5 years ago, trying to get it changed. And unfortunately, we've not been able to do that. But that's the first thing that I want to do. I also think that my wife serves on the Aging of Commission board, and I think the Aging of Commission and some of our other boards, they need to come forward. We need to start bringing them into the forefront of our community, and I want to do that. That's one of the things I want to do. I think our boards are silent, and they're not being given the proudness, is that a word? They're not giving the things that they need to do, and I want to do that. That's one of the things I want to do. I'm not done, and even if I don't get reelected, I'm not done. I'm going to make this the city that I love. I've been here 31 years, and I love the heck out of this city, so.
We will start the next question with Ms. Lawrence. There are still 7 questions to go, so I'm trying to get some of the shorter ones so that we can power through them a little bit. What do you think is the future of flock cameras in Wayne?
So flock cameras, I believe, are misunderstood. The cameras are to alleviate crime. It's not to spy on people, in my experience with them. But it's kind of to help the residents so that if there is a criminal that is going from one community to another, they can be tracked from going where they started at with their crime spree and caught to get them off the streets. A lot of people have this belief that it's to spy on you, or they're looking at your car. That's not what they're doing. They're looking for license plate numbers that are involved in crimes. So I really believe that they are an asset to the community right now.
Mr. Roshan?
Flock cameras are here to help in surveillance and for safety. The problem at times is that they can be used for racial profiling. We have to be really considerate and concerned and really investigate how we're using them. What is the policies in place in using them, and then how many are we using, and where's the funding coming from to get flock cameras? So with that being said, I am not for or against, but I think there should be definitely a deep dive in them because there are a lot of pros and cons.
Mr. Brock?
As for the future of them in the city of Wayne, I know that several people have been outspoken about not having them. And as we were talking earlier before, of course, it's a democracy, so most of the people don't want them, then we probably wouldn't have them. Right now, we have them in cooperative effort, I believe, to support our neighbors. So because somebody's passing through us, they can more easily apprehend people. When I first heard of them, I thought, oh, gee, that's great. That's good for surveillance. That'll help them catch criminals. And then I was sitting down and I thought to myself, that'd be a good way to figure out where people are shopping, right? And then I thought, whoa, they're not supposed to do that. However, the data is there, and someone will probably take advantage of that activity. So the future of them right now, I think they're limited. I think someone cut down one of the towers the other day. That's a true story. So it's definitely not going the right way there for popularity. But I think eventually, if everyone else around in the region is doing it, we'll do it too.
Mr. McFarland, what do you think is the future of flock cameras in Wayne?
Well, I hope they don't have a future in any part of this country. They're an abomination to the Fourth Amendment. It's really a workaround for the police to, bypass the Fourth Amendment, which is your constitutional right to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures. So while people might claim, they're, for the public good, we've seen a lot of cases where police officers use those flock cameras to spy on their exes, basically to commit domestic violence, to stalk their exes. And so, unfortunately, human nature still exists, and I don't see the need for them. I think, good old-fashioned policing and investigating and actually solving crime and, getting off your behind and getting away from your desk and actually, pen and paper and, walking the ground. I think that's a better approach than mass surveillance. So I'm going to fight like hell to ensure that flock has no future in the city of Wayne, and hopefully we do what Westland just recently did and just said no more. So that's my thoughts on those.
Mr. Quarles?
Flock cameras. What a subject. We got an hour? I'm not convinced that they're not doing what everybody just said on this panel, that they're not spying. I'm not convinced of that, honestly. I've seen no data to tell me that they're not able to access the data on those cameras. Do I like them? I personally don't like the flock cameras. I'm not a fan of the flock camera. I understand, though, why the flock cameras are there. I get that. But I think, as everybody has said, I think surveillance is not good in this country. We've got enough surveillance. You're on camera no matter where you go, just so you know. You go to the mall or Walmart, you're being filmed. So no matter where you walk, no matter what you do, you're on camera. So I'm not really sure that they can't access that data.
Mr. Masick?
Sorry. Thank you. Yeah, I think there's some very legitimate security concerns with how this data is being tracked. Anytime you're putting this much data in the private sector, I'm not overly comfortable with it. I think there needs to be very strong discussions about if we're using it, what extent they should be used, where they should be placed. I just don't think I'm overly a fan of mass widespread surveillance as a practice.
We'll start the next question with Mr. Roshan, so start the microphone back this way. Is transparency an issue in our city's government?
Yes, it is an issue in our city's government. There's no reason why our residents don't know who our city council are. There's no reason why our residents don't know all of the school board members. It is key for us to make sure that we are accessible to our residents. And by being accessible, you have to be transparent by encouraging people to be a part of the process. And while you're encouraging people to be a part of the process, therefore people will feel more included. It'll be more of an inclusive environment, but also pushing for transparency. So yes, transparency is an issue, and I think we could do a way better job doing that by informing our residents.
Mr. Brock?
Yes, I feel we have some difficulty. I wouldn't call it a problem, but I think it's a behavioral issue with the transparency in the city of Wayne, and I would work to smooth that out, and that's through inclusion and getting people to be comfortable with one another. I'll give you an example to save face, because I'm on the city council right now, and I don't want to give any secrets away, if there are any secrets, but I don't want to give up any, I don't know what the word is.
Secret.
Yeah, that's a good one. So anyway, when I was when I was talking with folks to get the money to come into the city for the lead service lines, I can't tell you how many people told me what other departments could do for me if I spoke to this person and that person and everything. Eventually, by getting everyone to talk to one another, we were able to solve the problems, and we really didn't have to do anything except get the physical work done. And I would like to see more of that in our local city government, so that when we talk to our other cities and the county and the state and everything, we're on the same level. We're not down on the bottom.
Mr. McFarland?
Could you repeat the question?
Absolutely. Is transparency an issue in our city's government?
Yeah, it's probably the number one issue that we have in the city of Wayne. I'll give you an example, guys. I actually just filed a FOIA lawsuit today against the city of Wayne. City of Wayne wants $537,000 for myself. I'm asking for information regarding one person, one household, 1 year worth of information, and the city wants $537,000, $268,000 for a deposit, roughly. I mean, it's just absurd. If that doesn't tell you where transparency in the city of Wayne is, I don't know what will. So yes, absolutely, that is the number one issue. I would actually go so far in Wayne, it's so corrupt in Wayne, that I would propose that we have kind of like a reverse flock camera system, where we have cameras inside City Hall, everywhere, outside of course, like bathrooms and whatnot. But we have cameras everywhere, and people can live stream and tune into them and see what their government workers are up to. It's gotten that bad in Wayne, so I'm all for the reverse flock camera system in Wayne. Thank you.
Mr. Quarles?
Transparency, I just talked about the Commission on Aging. Just talked about them. Does anybody in the city really know what they do or who they are? When's the last time somebody's been to a planning commission? When's the last time somebody's been to the zoning board? Does anybody in our city know what they do? No, they don't, because we're not transparent. We don't open up. You know, and I'm gonna say this, City Council is not getting all of the information that they need, okay? There's not enough transparency coming back to us so that we can give what you guys need. You want transparency, what you need to do is start talking. Get together and let's be one team instead of 12 teams. You know, there was a question a minute ago said, are you going to, first year, are you going to hold grudges? I don't hold grudges, I move forward. I look out the front glass, not the back glass. I don't have time for back there. So, transparency, yes, is a problem.
Mr. Masick, is transparency an issue in our city's government?
I think transparency is always something that needs to be a priority in the city government. I think there's a lot of ways right now where there's information that exists, and it's not always the easiest to find. The commissions are a good example. You know, you can poke around the website and you can find information on who was appointed, how long they've been there, but I think we just don't really proactively, as a city administration, communicate, hey, this is the planning commission, this is what they're doing, this is the housing authority, this is what the housing authority does. And then when there's directions, like when we're having issues with priority waste, I guess we're still having some issues with priority waste, and there's people saying, oh, call DPW, but there wasn't really any official communication from the city that that's what you're supposed to do. It was kind of coming from an individual council member or on a Facebook group, but it really wasn't something at the forefront of the city's communication tools. Thank you.
Ms. Lawrence?
I think transparency is an issue in all government. I think the key is to communicate with each other, ask questions, even if they are questions that other people don't want you to ask. Ask them, we can answer them as best as we can. And if we can't, then we'll figure out how to give you the right answer. We serve the public, we don't serve ourselves. It's our job to be transparent when needed.
We'll start this next question with Mr. Brock, and I believe it will be our last question. And the way it's written suggests to me that there's something very local and specific that's an issue. So, can you share your thoughts about stop arm traffic citations or technology issued tickets?
Stop on.
I'm reading it just as it's written. Can you share your thoughts about stop arm traffic citations or technology issued tickets? Somebody who's here
Automation,
tonight
like
wants
somebody
to
who
break
runs a light. Yeah.
I'm thinking that. This is somehow related to flock, and I would be. I had a recent difficulty with a parking structure downtown in Detroit. I went in there and I saw the signs, and it said all you got to do is drive in, and we got your license, and you type your license in here, and you're good to go, right? So then I had borrowed the car. So you know what happened, right? They get a letter in the mail, and they don't know what's going on because they don't have the car. I got the car. So they finally call me. And it turned out that the system was flawed, and the system was being run by a company that is nationally being recognized and criticized as being flawed. So if that's going to happen, it has to be done at a specific location, I feel. So if there's an intersection that's got many accidents, then I think it should be done there, some sort of study. But I don't support them in general.
Mr. McFarland?
Yeah, again, it's a violation of your Fourth Amendment. It's a violation of your 14th Amendment as well, because one of the key tenets to our justice system is the right to face your accuser. And if your accuser is a camera, well, good luck putting the camera on the stand, right? So, not in favor of it. I guess I'm old school in the sense that I want, real police work, right? If the police officer catches you doing the act and they're willing to come to court and testify under oath that you did what they claimed that you did, that's a much better option. I know it's less efficient for the state. I know the state would much prefer just to have a faceless ticket issued and pay it, and that's why they do it, because they know that half of the people are just going to pay it, just whatever. So no, I'm all for real due process in this country. I know seems like it's a pipe dream at this point, but I still believe that it's a real thing, and we can achieve it if we collectively get together.
Mr. Quarles?
Not a fan. AI is taking over the world. For those that don't know, I use it constantly at work. Claude, ChatGPT, 100%, that's all my company is pushing down our throats. Do I want a camera taking a picture that I ran a red light? No. And I don't think anybody does. Now, I know in Kentucky that they have put cameras in the construction barrels going down I-75. And the reason I know this, my friend did get a ticket for doing 85 miles an hour in a 45 mile an hour zone. And he doesn't like the cameras, by the way, just so you know. But honestly, I'm not a fan of it. I have to agree with everybody. It's an invasion of privacy. You do the time, you do the crime. And I think that our police officers should witness what's going on. I don't think cameras are the way to go, in my opinion.
Mr. Mason, can you share your thoughts about stop arm traffic citations or technology issued tickets?
So I believe stop arm specifically refers to cameras on bus stop arms that extend. I have a little bit of experience with that. It's something that's been discussed at my work. So those are very limited use because they are cameras that only engage when a bus has their stop sign extended. The systems I'm familiar with, those record video when something goes past it, which then is sent for manual review before a citation is issued. That's not the typical AI auto systems that a lot of people think of when they think of cameras. So I think that's potentially a little bit of a different case in terms of generalized auto ones. I'm not a fan of those, but what I know of self-arm cameras is a little bit different in principle than some of these other ones.
Ms. Lawrence?
Thank you for that, because I did not know what stop arm was. I believe I am for the stop arm on bus stops, just because there's so many problems with people blowing past the stop arm, and you see videos of kids almost getting hit. And I think safety is very important, especially for our children. In terms of video of taking a picture of the plate for someone speeding, I think that's kind of ambiguous because you don't know who's driving the vehicle, and I feel like it would be thrown out of court. Seems kind of like a waste of time. In terms of construction zones, when people are doing 80, when there are construction workers putting their lives on the line, I am for some type of video being taken and a ticket. Do I think we're there? Not yet, but I think that something has to be done to stop these people from injuring our road workers.
Mr. Rochon?
Yes, stop arms are used on buses for people that are passing illegally or speeding in school areas. Being a Wayne Westland School Board member, I understand that. So I'm for that because the biggest thing we should be focusing on when it comes to those stop arms is the safety of our children. So I'm for that. I think that there are also other measures that we can put in place in school zones concerning traffic and safety. In the city of Wayne, we've had many tragedies concerning students and traffic and injuries and even deaths. So I'm for that stop arm system.
Thank you. That was our last question. We're going to go to the closing statements, and we will start with Ms. Lawrence, and just pass the microphone to your right as you finish your closing statement. Thank you.
So I'm hoping you'll re-elect me for City Council. I feel like my background in my past employment history is a great asset to the city or to the public. I know what to look for in budget. I know what to look for in contracts, negotiations. I ask questions that need to be asked. I will listen to your concerns. I serve the public. I don't serve myself. So if you ever have any questions or concerns, you are always welcome to approach me, and I will serve you the best I can. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for coming out again. I would also like to thank all the council candidates for coming out and participating in good faith, even Mr. Mulholland, who couldn't make it in person but did send words. I think it's great that we have an election in the city that is, by all appearances, competitive. We have the first primary under our now wardless system. I think I would like to see 6+ candidates for every election in Wayne going forward. I think it provides a lot more options for our voters. And win or lose, I'm going to be in Wayne. I'm going to be involved in things, but I do hope that you will trust me to put me on council, and I hope to be of service to you. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming out. There's a lot of things you could be doing other than sitting here listening to us gab. We appreciate you coming out. The League of Women Voters, thank you for having this. This has been very nice. It was my first time ever doing this. I hope that you vote for me and put me back on council. We need to talk about road condition, potholes, public safety staffing, blight and property maintenance, redeveloping of vacant commercial buildings, fiscal responsibility, downtown improvements, neighborhood quality of life. There's all those things, and last but not least, the dang thing that I'm trying to get changed, the dang charter. I want that thing changed, and even if I'm not back on council, I want to be involved with trying to get that changed. Guys, we have to change that charter. It's no good anymore. We're working under 1958 rules and regulations. You know, Andy was still fishing at the time that charter was written. Thank you.
Well, I'd like to simply thank everybody again for showing up and showing your support for the city of Wayne. I would just say this, I mean, based on the questions that were asked tonight, seemed like some of them were kind of directed towards me, I don't know. A lot of this stuff that you guys are asking for, I've been talking about it, I've had to go to jail because of it. I still fight every single day. I get up and I take on this machine that's been in operation for a long time. I mean, these problems are not going to change overnight, guys, but if we start really honing in on what the problems are, where the problems are originating from, which are mainly the department heads and some members of council, but you know, we really need to look at everything. Everything's got to be on the table because, I mean, we can't afford to mess this up. You know, we have a huge deficit. We have so many problems in Wayne, and they're fixable, but you know, it's going to take a new approach, and I feel like I'm that approach that you guys desperately need. So, thank you for your vote of confidence, and thank you.
Thank you, and I would like to also thank the League of Women Voters for coming, and I would like to ask a question too. I'll ask it again later, but I was hoping perhaps I could ask you guys to come and teach us how to do this so that we could, or you guys could come and talk to people that are on council or on the commissions and have this sort of outside of the regular meeting. Thank you so much for having me, for allowing me to participate in our local government. I encourage everybody to do it. When my experience in the past years that I've been doing this work was that when I found a problem or it was brought to me from someone from the citizenry, and I never let anything go until someone says, you know, you don't have to do it anymore. But what I found out over time, and I want to keep repeating this, is that when we fix something, I found, strangely enough, that what we needed to do was just follow the rules, and everything came out all right. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. I'm happy to be here and thankful for the League of Women Voters to put in this forum on today, and for you all coming out tonight, spending your evening with us. I want to say that day one, I'm here to serve the residents of the city of Wayne. Being a school board member, Wayne Westland School Board member, I'm very experienced in governance, in policy, in budget, and at heart, I'm a community organizer. I'm the one that will bring people together, our city together, to bring positive change. So I ask for your support, and I'm here to serve the residents of Wayne.
We thank the candidates who are running for office. They are asking for your support as they seek a job in the public service sector, and we hope voters will listen to their views. We also appreciate the voters in the city of Wayne who attended the forum, as well as those watching the recording to learn about their choices on Tuesday, August the 4th. Each of these candidates was also invited to participate in the League of Women Voters Voter Guide, a publication that you can access online by visiting vote411.org. The forum has been recorded and can be viewed on the League's website, lwvnorthwestwayne.org, within 48 hours. Please note that ownership of the recording or transcript resides with the League of Women Voters of Northwest Wayne County. The candidates or their supporters may not use portions of the forum or any audio clips, video clips, or transcripts for political advertising or purposes without the written permission of the League of Women Voters of Northwest Wayne County. The League of Women Voters is providing this forum as an opportunity for candidates to express their views related to their candidacy. Statements expressed by the candidates are not endorsed nor opposed by the League of Women Voters. Also, the League of Women Voters does not certify any candidate's responses to questions as accurate. Voters are encouraged to fact-check information shared at the forum. Election day is August 4th, 2026. The polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. All registered voters can vote early by absentee ballot. If you did not receive an absentee ballot and would like to vote early using this method, please visit your Wayne City Clerk as soon as possible. Those who are submitting an absentee ballot should be careful to follow all of the instructions and to deposit the ballot into the drop box at the Wayne City Clerk's office to make sure that it will be counted in the election. Early voting is July 25th through August 2nd and will be conducted at the Wayne Police Station at 33701 East Michigan Avenue here in the city of Wayne. We will now end the forum, and once again, thank the candidates for participating. Everyone have a great evening.